Hey guys, this is the Anime Fiend bringing to you today a new series, and that is Kaiju number 8. And well, how new is it, do you ask? Well, there's like only 20 chapters out, so yeah, it is pretty new. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm gonna make more videos on Kaiju number 8, but yeah, today I think I'll make a video, introducing the manga to you guys and maybe, attracting more audience to the manga. And well, I hope, I'm making a good case for it. But yeah, so Kaiju number 8 is a series where, it's located in Japan. And there's this huge outbreak of these big, gigantic monsters, of course, the Kaiju. And even these kaiju are like, there's this big alpha kaiju, which is the, of course, the one that is like, the size of a Godzilla. And of course, there's these like the spawn of it, kind of like the similar beasts, but the small ones which gather together, like, the after beasts and shit. Like, yeah, so basically, these monsters, attack, and these people defend from these monsters, and yeah, and again, even these monsters, according to their threat level, they are classified into different types and stuff, right? And of course, then we got like Japanese Defense Force that actually defend, Japan against these monsters. Well, you see, even in the first chapter, we see a huge ass kaiju, lizard like kaiju, which is attacking Japan. And well, what do we see? We see the Japanese Defense Force take that shit out in a second. Like, oh shit. You see, the one that actually took this monster out in a second is, of course, Squad 3 of Japanese Defense Force, and specifically the captain of the Squad 3. And she is basically a hero, right? And everybody is cheering for her. They're like, oh, you're awesome and stuff. And, she doesn't say a thing. And of course, as soon as we see, we're like, all right, now that is our main character. Well, let me break this to you. Well, she isn't the main character, you see, and the main character is the one that comes after her. Yeah, the main character is one of the cleanup crew, and yeah, basically the job of the main character is, as soon as these, defense force people destroy a monster, they come in with their cleanup crew and they like, you know clean that shit up. Like, they cut these monsters into pieces and slowly clean these things out, because of course they don't have a huge ass helicopter or something, like, just, to pick that huge ass monster and, take it somewhere else. Of course not. They actually have to clean it up. So this guy is one of the cleanup crew, and his name is Kafka Hibino. And you see, another thing I like about the series is the main character is actually 32. Yeah, he's not a teenage protagonist. Yeah. And I don't know, man. I dig that. I mean, look, I like my teenage protagonist, right? Of course, Luffy is the goat. But yeah, these like people who have like experience, right? Of course, he's 32, so he knows what life is, right? So yeah, sometimes, these kind of people are better. But you see, now that I revealed to you his occupation, I think I should come clean, right? Of course, this manga, you see, it's all about cleaning up the monsters. It actually teaches you how to clean, and I think this inspired me to clean my room many times, right? And yeah, it's like beautiful, man. It like explains to you how cleaning is, cleaning comes from the soul and stuff. And yeah, I'm very okay, I'm just fucking with you guys. Of course, this story is not about cleaning monsters. Of course not. I mean, yeah, I'm just fucking with you. This manga is definitely about killing these huge ass kaiju, and yeah, the main character will also do that. Yes, don't worry about it. But that comes in chapter number 2, right? But yeah, I mean, yeah, chapter number 1 is kind of misleading, so don't worry about it. Yeah, but chapter of course begins with Kafka actually being in the cleanup crew. But you see, the story of Kafka is like he has been trying for this Japanese defense force, but you know he isn't like an exceptional candidate, so he keeps getting rejected. And you see, he's eventually, now that he's in his 30s, of course he's 32, right? So he's like, well man, I guess I should just stop. If I didn't qualify when I was in my 20s, I don't have I don't have a chance in my 30s. So yeah, let's just give the shit up, right? And he's like, he's in this cleanup crew. But of course, you see, being in this cleanup crew also gives him some kind of experience, right? And that is like, as he's cutting into these monsters, he learns about different parts of these monsters, which is poisonous, which is like dangerous to hit, which is dangerous to cut. And it's like he learns about these monsters' weak points. So of course, this experience comes in handy. But you see, we also get to know something else. The person we saw at the beginning of the chapter, of course, Captain Mina Ashiro, the captain of the third squad who actually destroyed the monster. Yeah, you see, him and her were actually childhood friends, and they actually planned to get together and destroy these monsters together. But you see, we know where he ended up and where she ended up, so we know the tragedy of his life, right? Of course. But you see, his life actually starts to change when another character comes into his life, and that is, of course, Lino Ichikawa. And this dude, he's just 18, he wants to get into the Japanese Defense Force, and he came to the cleanup crew for the experience, right? Just as I said, because the cleanup crew actually looks the monster so close. They clean the monsters up, they know about different parts of the monster, which part is weak, which part is hard and stuff. For that experience, he actually joined the cleanup crew, right? And he actually meets Hibino. He's of course passionate into getting into the defense force, and he actually gets close to Kafka Hibino, the main character, right? And slowly, as they get to know each other, he's like, well, Hibino, you shouldn't actually give up. There's still 1 year to go, because you see, the recruitment end of the recruitment age is actually 33. So Hibino is still 32. There's still 1 year to go. But you see, Hibino, because he already gave up, he just stopped trying, right? But of course, Ichikawa actually inspires Hibino, and well, they actually start trying again. But you see, as that happens, as Hibino is like, well man, alright, maybe I'll try, right? As soon as he says that, of course, one of the smaller beasts, right, one of the smaller kaiju, it just comes in out of nowhere and tries to attack Ichikawa. And of course, Hibino jumps in to save him, and both of them, they like try their best to beat the monster. But of course, they're just human. What can they do, right? And yeah, of course, you might say like, well, you see, the Japanese Defense Force, they're also human. But yes, of course, they have equipment. And yeah, we're not gonna talk about the equipment in this video, of course, not this chapter. Goddamn. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about the equipment in this video, of course. That's kind of a spoiler, but don't worry, we'll talk about it in other videos, right, in the future. But of course, you see, these guys are just human, so they couldn't do much, right? But of course, then comes in Mina Shiro with her squad 3. She destroys this monster, saves the day. But you see, we get to see that Mina isn't, talking to Kafka, because because yeah, I guess of course we get the thing, right? She's like, well, this dude, he promised me to be with me and destroy the monsters, and here we go, he's not even trying. So yeah, she's a bit upset with him and stuff, so she doesn't talk, right? But of course, they save them, and you see what happens is, finally, right, Hibino and Ichikawa, they're saved by these squad 3, and they're lying in the bed, in the hospital bed, right? They're lying there, and they're like, well, man, you know Hibino is like, dude, Ichikawa, I understand what you mean. I think today I decided that I'm gonna join, the defense force. I'm gonna try again, and yeah, we're gonna be dope. And you see, as they're lying in the hospital bed, right, something actually happens. And well, what happens? You see this small kaiju, right? The small monster, parasite looking thing, insect looking thing, that actually comes in from the window and goes inside the mouth of Hibino. Yeah. And yeah, that is the twist of this show, right? Of course, that is the point where Hibino actually changes. And you see, of course, you guys, if you guys start reading the the manga, you see on the first page of the manga, you see this monstrous looking dude who's like looking at you. And yeah, that dude is the main character, right? Yeah, this parasite looking thing that actually goes into this dude, and yeah, he basically becomes into that monster. And as soon as he becomes into that monster, chapter 1 ends there. And whoa. Yeah, that is the twist of the show. What actually happens to him from now on? Well, you gotta start reading the manga, man. But of course, I'm gonna make more videos on this. Of course, I'm gonna start covering Kaiju no 8, Kaiju number 8, from now on as well. But of course, this is the video. If you think the video is good, then maybe check out Kaiju number 8. I'm gonna make more videos on it. And yeah, I think it's a good show. I've read all 20 chapters, and yeah, I think it's a good show, and I think maybe you should start reading as well. I mean, trust me. But of course, anyways, if you want to discuss things with me and my friends, you could maybe join my Discord. And you see, if you think the video is good, then maybe like, share, subscribe. And if you want to support me even more than that, then maybe you should subscribe to my Patreon. But anyways, liking, sharing, subscribing is more than enough help I need. But of course, as always, until next time, peace.